You want to learn how to place your makeup, where to place your contour, your highlights, your blushes. What is the proper placement of these products to give you a flawless finish like this? Keep watching. Starting with foundation, I'm going to be placing this all over the face, starting from the lower part of your face. Because this is the area that requires more product, and then going into the upper part. Make sure to avoid your under eye area. You don't want to apply foundation under your eye because you're still going to go in there with concealer, and you don't want to pack on too many products under the eye. And then from here, we're going to go into the neck area so it blends in seamlessly. Then for the forehead, you want to take a light amount of foundation and focus it more on the middle, and then take the remnant to apply on these areas, just because you're still going to apply bronzers to this area, so you don't want to pack on too many products on top of products. So I apply a little amount of foundation on my forehead and focus it mainly in the middle. Next, we have our concealer. You apply it in your inner corner here and your outer corner. This is because you don't need too much concealer, especially because we're going to layer it on with other concealers. So we want to use this as a base. Then the bridge of the nose, above your upper lip, then your chin, and then you apply on the forehead. But I don't want to use my brush to apply on the forehead because sometimes it usually leaves a mark, so I like to use my beauty blender directly to apply it on the forehead. I'm just going to take some concealer and apply it to my palm. Then I use my beauty sponge, tap onto the product, and I just apply like this. So these are the areas you want to keep highlighted. Now once you do that, you want to blend out these areas first, and then leave the under eye to dry out a bit. The under eye concealer, you want to blend from the edges of the concealer and then inward. The edge out first. For the brightening concealer, we're going to maintain it only on the inner corner. This is because you only want to focus the brightness more on the inner corner of your eye, so it brings your face together. While we let that dry down, go in with the bronzer. You're going to apply a little above your cheek area. That's because when you blend it in, the blender takes it a little bit lower, so you want to keep your bronzer a little above your cheek area. And this is an easier way to get it. Calculate it from this part of your ear, this flap on your ear, and then drag it down almost to your cheek area, this high point. Measure it with that, or the end of your lashes, so you don't drag it too forward. Then you apply a bronzer on your temple. I have on lace, so I don't want to stain it. And then on the forehead, all around here, temple. You also apply here and here on your chin, and then you go in with a flat brush just like this. Apply the product on the brush, and then you use that to apply on the sides of your nose. straight down, just the sides. Once you're applying that, you want to make it as close as possible to the bridge of your nose, so it gives that very slim illusion, because the closer you bring it, the more slimmer your nose appears. But if you take it a bit further, it appears bigger than your nose is. So I'm going to connect that to my eyebrows, and I'm just trying to bring it close. Then I like to contour my lip. You can skip this part if you don't like a fuller lip. So the reason why I'm doing this is to give my lip this full lip effect. So it's totally not compulsory. So these are the areas you want to contour slash bronze. Just going to tap and blend it upward. You want to blend out your temple up. You want to leave out this middle. Just blend it around your forehead. Now back to your under eye. I'm going to go ahead and blend it out from the edges. For your cream blush, you want to maintain it above the bronzer you just did, just right above it. So you're going to put it right on this cheekbone here. You're going to apply from there. You don't take it any further than that. You apply from that point upward. You're not going down, you're not going in. You just apply from that point upward. There's a bone here. When you touch it, there's a bone here on this part. So you apply from this part here, and you just go upward with your application. So that's the way you do your blush. You don't go further. Most people, when they do their blush, they smile and then they start from here. So that's what ruins the makeup. When you apply your blush, you don't smile and then apply it from here. You want to apply it on the high point of your cheek, so it gives that lifted look when you're done with your makeup. You also want to apply just a little bit to your nose, the bottom of your nose, because it just makes the look come together. And I'll just blend upward. In the same manner, I'm blending upward. And then once I'm blending upward, I'll blend the majority here. I'll just take the remnant just into my temple. Just like this. And then brush, blend this again. For setting, apply it your under eye area. Tapping. So for setting, you want to set the areas where you just highlighted. My under eye, I maintain it here, and I'll go into my upper lip, and then I'll set my nose, and then my forehead. I'm basically just setting the areas where I applied concealer to highlight, just going with my powder to mattify it. That's what setting is. Now to bake, I'm going to be using the same powder I used, but it's a different technique. Baking basically is brightening, just like I did with a brighter concealer. So for baking, I'm going to go in with a larger volume of powder and just apply it in the same area I applied my brightening concealer. So I'm going to focus it on the inner corner. Basically, I'm focusing it on the inner corner because this is the area where I want to be bright, so that it would give my face a snatch. I'm going to focus it as close to my nose as possible and to the inner corner. So I'm basically just brightening with powder the same way I brightened with concealer. And then I also bake my nose because I also want this area brightened and more pronounced. So now for powder bronzer, we're basically going to just set the areas we applied cream bronzer with a powder bronzer. I'm going to start with my nose. I'm using a smaller brush and I'll apply it here, just at the sides, the same place I applied my creams. That is where I'm applying my powders. I'm going in with a bigger brush. Bronzers. So for applying your bronzer on your cheek is the same technique. Just apply it right on the part where you applied your cream bronzer. The same measurement from your ear down to the ends of your eyelashes. So, and I'm blending it upward. I'm not bringing it in or downward. Just going to place the products, maintain it in the same area on my chin, temple. For the powder, I'm going to apply it all over my face and into my neck, just as I applied my foundation. So I'm basically using this to set my foundation, just as I used powders to set every other thing I did. I'm using the powder to set my foundation. So I apply this starting from the lower part of my face, and then I go into the upper part of my face. So what I do when I apply this powder is I maintain majority of the product on this lower part into my neck, and then I do the remnant from the brush and I apply it over the bronzer, just so the bronzer is still a little bit visible even if I've applied powder. On my nose, just right on top of where I'm baking, so it looks seamless on my nose. Forehead, I apply from the middle first because that's where the highlight is. So I apply the powder here and then I use the remnant and just go over the contour, just so I can see the bronzer through my skin. So you don't need to pack so much powder to apply, since you already applied powders, a bit of powder all over your face. You're just using this general powder to kind of tie everything together. That's what we're trying to achieve here. I'm not trying to cover up everything we've done. For powder blush, you want to maintain it in the same area you applied your cream blush, just right above your bronzer. Tap in, just from here, tap in, and then you go upward. So you're not smiling, because once you smile and then apply it and you release your face, it does not look good. You literally will look like a clown. So don't smile when you're applying your blush, because it will lead you astray. So just make sure you use this point, high point on your face, this bone here on your face, to measure it. So you just start from that part and then you go up. You're not going down, you're not bringing it forward, you're just going upward as you're applying it upward. And then you apply the remnant into your temple, just like this, to give you that lifted face. And then you apply the remnant on your nose. For under eye powder, you're going to blend it into your eye and maintain it around that same area where you applied, and then blend the remnant outward. For your under eye powder, you're going to blend it together with your blush so it has the seamless gradient. Setting spray all over the face. Brightening powder right under your eye, the same manner you applied your setting powder. And then for your highlighter, so I'm using a dewy highlighter, but if you have a loose highlighter, you're going to apply in the same manner, so you don't need to be scared. So you apply this on the high point of your cheek, which is this area right where we applied our blush. It's that bony structure right here, right where we used to apply our blush. So I'll just tap it here, and I want to make sure I maintain it upward. I'm not pushing it downward. Then I just go up just like this. So when I turn, you can see just like this, right here. Then I take it to my temple. So I like to apply it like a C, because once I turn, I don't want you to notice any separation or demarcation between the highlights. I'm going to take that same highlighter and then go in a bit to my brow bone area. Just going to highlight this part. Yeah, so it has that glow too, so everything is kind of tied together from my cheek to my brow bone, then to my temple. So I always like to apply on this area. And now I'll go in with my sponge. I'll hold it like this and apply it to the bridge of my nose, here and here. So I want to focus just on the points where I feel like the light hits directly. So I like this part of my face pronounced, and the bottom of my nose. Then I'll just take the remnant and just do this here. Now I'm going back in with my bronzer brush for the nose, and I'll just use that to kind of put it together so it looks as slim as possible. Yeah, so it came together now. Just wanted to blend it together with my under eye. Once I turn like this and I turn like this, I see the glow, but you cannot spot where it's coming from and where it's ending. That's the goal. And that's, my friends, is how to place your makeup to give a flawless finish. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in my next one.